glad you laughed. I'm glad. Don't tell them I said that. But when a baby's about to be born, there's a name picked out. When a baby's about to be born, there's a room ready. The wall is painted. The diapers are getting purchased. You're ready for them. When somebody signs a big league contract, they present the jersey. They present the contract. They got a locker there. They're ready for them. God has long been ready for you. In Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, it says, and we are his workmanship created in Christ to do these good works. In Romans chapter 8, verse 29, that he foreknew, he predestined, that we might be conformed to the image of his Son. You have a position with God. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 1, Romans chapter 1, verse 1, I'm called to be an apostle. I saw this sad meme the other day. It was CBS News, and it had a picture of a man with just his undershirt on and pants, and he was running, and he was a hero. It says, ex-con skips job interview when he sees a car accident, takes the shirt off his back, and bandages up somebody that was bleeding, saved their life. And then the first comment underneath it said, isn't it so sad they have to call the man an ex-con? His name is Aaron Tucker. No. At some point, we got to stop labeling you as a felon, as an ex-con. At some point, when God looked down on you, he said, there's no felons in this room. There's no ex-cons. There's only those that are washed by my blood. And such were some of you. Your appointment is not to be that for the rest of your life. Your appointment is to change, to be washed, to be cleansed. And such were some of you, but I've chosen you. I've appointed you that you might bear fruit. It's God that has the times and the seasons. In Christ, you get to be a new creation. Even the challenges you're facing now, they're appointed by God. Think of that for a moment. Cyrus conquers Babylon. He's got this huge kingdom, but that's what God made Cyrus for. I wonder what God has made you for, that we might see these things work together, that this testing is but a light affliction, that we're refined in the fire. That Joseph was destined not just for the palace. He was destined for the prison. He was destined to be slandered. He was destined to be betrayed. He had to go through all of that so that there would be the salvation of many. And when you start asking God, God, I want to do your will, not my will. You might go through some very challenging circumstances, and it might take years until you realize this is the hand of God. If Cyrus would have had a normal life, a normal prince, a normal kingship, it wouldn't have been spectacular that his name was written down. But because he was raised as a slave, because he was lost his name for many years of his life, it's even more remarkable. William Patrick Hitler was Adolf Hitler's nephew. And when Hitler was rising to power, William Patrick went to move to Germany from Ireland. And he saw what was going on. He talked to his uncle, and his uncle mocked him and laughed at him and said, little boy, you don't know anything. As he was an older teen, his family realized this is going to go bad quick. And so they fled Germany, they came to America, and then Hitler really rose in power, and the war broke out, and you could see the atrocities that were happening. And so William Patrick wanted to enlist in the American military, but his last name was Hitler. And so when he went to join the army, they said, your last name's Hitler. Any relation to Adolf? They go, yeah, it's my uncle. Nah, denied. He wanted to be a Marine. Last name's Hitler. He goes, yeah, but I'm not like my uncle. Denied. Wanted to be in the Air Force, but his last name's Hitler. Denied. He got denied over and over again. So he wrote President Roosevelt himself. And Roosevelt got this letter probably because it said Hitler on it. So you better open this one. And William Patrick Hitler is asking to enlist in your military. He's tried some 11 times with every branch, and he keeps getting rejected. And in the letter he says, I want the world to know that not all Hitlers are like my uncle. Please, give me a chance to prove myself. I want to fight. I'll die. But I don't want the world to think that I'm like my uncle. And so Roosevelt made a special pardon for him and got him in the military and put him in the Pacific Theater. He would fight in one of the first battles over there, and he would be wounded saving other people's lives. He'd get the Purple Heart, and he'd come back and live the rest of his life on Long Island. And when he was interviewed years later, he said, it was so important for me to realize that I don't have to be like my uncle, and the world doesn't have to know Hitler's because of my uncle. There was a man in a garden that did his own will. His name was Adam. And then there was another man in a garden named Jesus. And what was his great prayer? Not my will, but thy will be done. Not all mankind is like Adam. We can make some changes today. Today, will you be like Jesus? Says, not my will, but your will be done. Today, I want to invite the worship team to come as we prepare our hearts to close. I want us to ask God that He might know His